friends, myself Professor Khyati Gupta, working at Dr. Subhas Technical Campus, Faculty of Pharmacy, Junagadh. Today in this video lecture, we will talk about receptors. So, what is receptor? Receptor can be defined as a macromolecule or binding site located on the surface or inside the effector cell that serves to recognize the signal molecule or drug and initiate the response to it, but itself has no other action. So, what is receptor? It is a macromolecule, right, or a binding site where it is located on the surface or inside the effector cell, right? What is the action of receptor? So, action of receptor is it binds to any drug, right, and it will initiate its response, right? It has no other action. Receptors are made up of proteins, and sometimes nucleic acids may also serve as receptors. The delineation of multiple types and subtypes of receptors for signal molecules has played an important role in the development of a number of targeted and more selective drugs, right? So there are many types and subtypes of receptors. For example, adrenergic receptors are classified into alpha and beta types of receptor. Okay. Now, action effect sequence. What is drug action and what is drug effect? So there is a difference between drug action and drug effect. Drug action means what? It is the initial combination of drug with its receptor resulting in a conformational change in the latter. For understanding the drug action, you have to understand two terminologies, that is agonist and antagonist. Agonist means what? Any drug or any agent that increases the response or action of any receptor of or any endogenous substance of our body, right? And antagonist means what? Its opposite action of agonist means it decreases the response of any endogenous substance or any drug, right? Now, what is drug action? In case of agonist, it will cause conformational changes in the receptor, and through it receptor will give its response, right? But in case of antagonist, it will not do any conformational change, means it will prevent any conformational change through exclusion of the agonist, right? Now, what is drug effect? Drug effect is the ultimate change in biological function brought about as a consequence of drug action through a series of intermediate steps, right? So, it will change the biological function brought about as a consequence of drug action, right? Through a series of intermediate steps means transducer. So, there are many transducer mechanisms. The transducer mechanisms can be grouped into 5 major categories. Receptors falling in one category also possess considerable structural homology and belong to one superfamily of receptors, right? So, transducer mechanisms are grouped into 5 categories, okay, and each category has some receptors that has structural homology and belonging to one superfamily. Now, first transducer mechanism is G protein coupled receptor. Okay, G protein coupled receptor are the receptors that are present in majority receptors, right? Means many receptors or majority of the receptors of our body are under the type of G protein coupled receptors, right? These are a large family of cell membrane receptor which are linked to the effector, enzyme, channel or carrier protein through one or more GTP activated proteins for response effectuation. These receptors are coupled with G protein, GTP activated protein. Therefore, they are called G protein coupled receptors. All such receptors have a common pattern of structural organization. The molecule has 7 alpha helical membranes spanning hydrophobic amino acid segments which run into 3 extracellular and 3 intracellular loops, right? So, this is the G protein coupled receptor. You can see here 7 alpha helical membranes numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, right? And you can see at the right side it's intracellular protein. So here 3 intracellular and 3 extracellular loops are present, okay, and red colored dot is the agonist, right? G protein coupled receptor are distinguished by their alpha subunits, okay. Now activity of G protein coupled receptor are different, and depending on then G protein coupled receptors are classified into GS, GI, GO and GQ, right? GS act by adenylyl cyclase activation and calcium channel opening. GI act by adenylyl cyclase inhibition and potassium channel opening. GO is activated by calcium channel inhibition, and GQ acts by phospholipase C activation. Now examples of G protein coupled receptors are muscarinic M2, muscarinic M1 and M3, dopamine D2 receptor, beta adrenergic, alpha 1 adrenergic, alpha 2 adrenergic, GABA B, serotonin 5-HT1 receptor, serotonin 5-HT2 receptor and prostanoid receptor. These all are G protein coupled receptors. Second is ion channel receptor. These cell surface receptors, also called ligand gated ion channels, enclose ion selective channels. For example, sodium, potassium, calcium or chlorine within their molecules, right? So G protein coupled receptor as well as ion channel receptors are cell surface receptors, and these ion channel receptors are called ligand gated ion channels because they are connected to ion channels. Agonist binding opens the channel and causes depolarization or hyperpolarization or changes in systolic ionic composition depending on the ion that flows through, right? Now see, this is ion channel receptor that are made up of 5 types of subunits, 2 alpha subunits, 1 beta, 1 gamma and 1 delta, right? Here in a figure you can see 2 purple dots. In that, first is ligand binding domain where agonist can bind, right? And second is effector domain which opens and close, right? Now you see figure B, right, where first site of action means agonist binds to first site of action, ligand binding domain, and because it binds here, it will open effector domain, right? And ion like sodium, potassium, calcium and chlorine can passes through it, right? Examples of ion channel receptors are nicotinic, cholinergic, GABA A, glycine, glutamate and 5-HT3 receptors. Okay. Next is transmembrane enzyme linked receptor. The enzyme at cytosolic site is generally a protein kinase, but can also be a guanylate cyclase in few cases. The commonest protein kinases are the ones which phosphorylate tyrosine residues on the substrate proteins and are called receptor tyrosine kinase. So the enzyme protein kinase, where it is located in the cytosolic site, okay? And commonest protein kinase are the ones which phosphorylate tyrosine residues, okay? This protein kinase enzyme phosphorylate tyrosine residues on the substrate proteins and therefore they are called receptor tyrosine kinase, okay? See in this figure. Here in first figure, you can see hormone binding site, okay? RTK means receptor tyrosine kinases, okay? And T means tyrosine kinase, okay? And this is the catalytic site, okay? This is the cytosol, okay? Here in second figure, okay? Second figure, when peptide hormone binds to hormone binding site, it will phosphorylate this tyrosine site, right? And it will do the biological response. Okay. See, the commonest protein kinase that phosphorylate tyrosine residue. See here, peptide hormone will phosphorylate tyrosine residue. Okay, present at receptor tyrosine kinase. Okay, and this will give you a biological response of peptide hormone, right? So next is transmembrane JAK-STAT state, JAK state binding receptors. Agonist induced dimerization alters the intracellular domain conformation to increase its affinity for a systolic tyrosine protein kinase. JAK means Janus kinase. Okay, so agonist will induce dimerization. Okay, alters the intracellular domain conformation to increase its affinity for a systolic tyrosine protein kinase, which is JAK, right? On binding, JAK gets activated and phosphorylates tyrosine residues of the receptor, which now bind another free moving protein state, signal transducer and activator of transcription. See here. In first figure, there is no any substrate that binds to its binding site, right? Here T means tyrosine site, right? JAK. Now when cytokine, in second figure, when cytokine binds to its binding site, right, JAK will phosphorylate and it converts, it phosphorylate that state protein, and that state protein, phosphorylated state protein will do transcription of gene and will give a biological response. Clear, right? This is also phosphorylated by JAK. Pairs of phosphorylated state dimerize and translocate to the nucleus to regulate gene transcription, resulting in a biological response, right? So, many cytokines, growth hormone, prolactin, interferons, etc. act through this type of receptor. Next is receptors regulating gene expression. In contrast to the above three classes of receptors, these are intracellular. Okay, above three classes of receptors were extracellular, but this is intracellular. Okay, one is cytosolic. Okay, soluble proteins which respond to lipid soluble chemical messengers that penetrate the cell. All steroidal hormones like glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, androgens, estrogens, progesterone, thyroxine, vitamin D, vitamin A function in this manner. Okay, so here you can see your DNA binding domain. Okay, this DNA binding domain in which you can see coactivators and co-repressors. Okay, and this will transcript your gene. Okay, transcription will be there, and ribosomes will produce more proteins. Okay, thank you friends. This is all about receptors.